was born in a place called Kurnool, and I was second child of my parents. My father was working in Indian Institute of Science at that time, but then I was left with my grandparents because my parents were going abroad to another country which was very cold. So they left me with my grandparents, and I lived with them for 19 years of my life. But then after my father and mother came back from abroad, I refused to go to them, obviously, because I was very pampered by my grandparents. So I lived with my grandparents, but I was continuously traveling between, Kurnool and Bangalore, where my father worked. So half of my schooling was in Kurnool, but all my holidays, vacations were all in Bangalore. So I always had a mix of a small town life and a city life. So maybe God was kind to me, or maybe my luck was very good that I could get a very good mix of both kinds of lives. I'm now an assistant professor in Department of Sociology, University of Hyderabad. There was only one, I may not call it a dream, but there was only one thing that I liked doing all the time. I loved chalk pieces and I loved blackboards. So we had a small screen in our house, in my grandfather's house. So I would always go buy new notebooks and give them off to my housemates, daughters and sons. I would teach them all the alphabets and everything, writing. I always liked writing with chalk piece on a blackboard and rubbing it off. So all my childhood I spent my free time like that. The best of compliments came to me from one of the integrated master's students. This, I think, would have been 2007 or 8. This girl whom I could not even remember which batch she would have been at that moment, suddenly she walked past me, she stopped, she came back, and this girl told me, "We were very lucky to have a teacher like you," is what she said. So I really took it very seriously, and I thanked her for that compliment. I think success is a very relative word. Success is more about the happiness that you search for in what you're doing. Otherwise, you will not really feel great about doing anything. So success to me is when I complete a batch of students, and then when I read their answer scripts, I find my words in it. So in the teaching profession, that's how I look at it. And success to me changes at every point of time. Okay, in family life, success is different. In professional life, success for a few lucky people, it can be both. But you have to choose which one is first, or sometimes choice will come to you. So you must be able to balance life in profession, life in family, and life according to one's own self. So never be disappointed because you rate success as something that I could not do and this is not happening or such. For the moment, you decide that you are only 10% successful, 20%. Otherwise, life will be disappointing. It was a very long wait. I have been aspiring to join this place ever since I finished my PhD. But it was also my good fortune, good luck that I had a mentor like Professor Sheila Prasad, who took me in as a guest faculty in Center for Regional Studies. So I taught environmental studies to the integrated master's students as a guest faculty. And teaching was always something that I loved to do. So my waiting period also was in doing what I always liked. So afterwards, I joined this department in 2013 as full-time assistant professor as of. See, it is like, are you overcoming the problems or the problems are overcoming you? So if you choose to do something, it will fetch you a result. So never stop at any point of time and start regretting and such. Not to have regrets. Okay, that was first lesson that I have learned, and not to have too many expectations from anything that you have an expectation, but keep a limitation to that. So even if I had to wait, it did not seem like it was too long. It was too disappointing. So from time to time, as I live by the day, by the week, by the month, I was able to do. But then to come to a teaching position, you had to have some teaching experience, some publication, so work towards it. So I did a few publications, I attended a few conferences, I was doing guest faculty teaching. So in a small incremental way, life always it kind of builds up. That was my way of living life. The younger generation has a lot of good opportunities and bad ones too. Okay, especially the internet, the media. Okay, they are very fortunate to have them, but there is always a flip side to it. So they have a very tight rope. They have high levels of exposure to life, to things. Okay, and it's important for them to keep their focus. And it's important to dream also. So dream and go for the dream. In between there will be some diversion, etc., but don't get carried away by that. You be a little careful in choosing your dream that suits your heart, that suits your mind. Choose what makes you happy. Okay, is it teaching? I do see many younger generation people who are working very hard for prevention of cruelty to animals. They are working for cancer. If they get happiness out of it, they will be fine. For many of these new startups are examples. So please fix a dream and don't get distracted, don't get disappointed very soon. Keep your focus and start building slowly. Don't think you will reach out everything overnight. Have a little patience, push the energy that you have on a day-to-day basis, build your energies, work towards the goal. If something goes wrong, don't just give up just like that, and then don't think of ending that, this is it, my life is over, and such disappointments. Don't get into that. And it's important also to acknowledge every other person around you. When you acknowledge and give them their space, you will also be happy, they'll also be happy. Along with that, if you fix a focus onto a goal, all will be good. Development is a very big word. Okay, there are 2 or 3 things that we can include. One is good health. Okay, mental health and physical health. I do feel very happy when I see that many boys and many girls are very focused on being fit. Only when you are fit is when your mind works well. So good. Okay, so the mental and physical fitness is one to develop. Then to educate one's own self. Education need not be exactly school. There are many other modes of education now. You can educate yourself looking at a wonderful video done by a BBC channel on Indian history. So choose your channel carefully, educate. Choose your exercise carefully and keep your mind and body fit. And also, work for others. So development of something which comes only with participation of everybody else. So the youth of the country should focus on first of all, believe in equality and being healthy. Help others also to educate themselves. Okay, education, health, and also to have clarity of the mind. A little bit about that. Okay. See, achieving more is about being able to reach out to all the children in the class and to be able to publish in such a way that the publications help academic community. And to me, my future is more about academics, so I would rather contribute to wherever I'm working at the moment at the University of Hyderabad or wherever I'm stationed at the moment. 2 people who inspire me. One is my grandmother. My grandmother belonged to a slightly kind of a rich family. but she always was very anchored, okay? She was very grounded, focused, and she believed in science. She was very skeptical about things, and she always believed in discipline. Not that you have to wake up every day at 6 o'clock and such. Discipline, and she inspired me with these words like, you don't discipline yourself for discipline's sake. It is because it should give you something in return, and life will give it back to you. This is how she spoke to me. The other person is my father. My father lost his father at a slightly young age. He never had financial support, but he studied throughout his master's and graduation with a scholarship. He went abroad with a scholarship. He believed in financial independence, and to me also he always spoke about financial independence. He was a very rigorous academician. He was a professor himself. I look at him as a role model in the teaching field, and for life I always depend on whatever my grandmother told me in my childhood. You have to have a certain kind of a discipline, that you do a few things according to the time of the day, according to the time of your life, and always see to it that everybody else around you is with you. Don't live alone. Mother and my father are my inspirations. I think I really congratulate your team for doing really good work, and if any of your videos would reach the right person at the right time, I'm sure they'll have a very good impact, because the generation now, and of course in a very uncanny way, it can be inspiring to somebody who is feeling a little lost. There is no age limit to being inspirational. So it can reach out to people across all age groups and all possible communities. It will be really nice for students, and I do appreciate you for all your efforts, and I wish you all the very best.